WVU football going deep, live with an announcement which you may or may not have already heard. Uh, Grad transfer corner or defensive back Jaheem Joseph from Northwestern has announced that he is committed to West Virginia football. As probably all of you know and agree, the defensive backfield was the biggest remaining need in the transfer portal. Joseph is a big get. Even though he is around 5'10", 190. So I know there are some people out there who will continue complaining about the height issue. However, we'll see if he plays big. Now, he has typically been listed as a cornerback, sometimes as a defensive back, but there is the possibility that he will play safety, especially since Burks is expected to move around a lot more. So this might free up that possibility. He played in all 13 games at Northwestern. Matt, there's your answer. And he had possibly his best game in the bowl game. And I consider that a good sign. A guy still growing and improving. He is a grad transfer, but has 2 years left to play, which also suggests he got through Northwestern in a hurry. And that's not a school that you generally hurry through. So don't know for sure what his football IQ is, but it certainly seems like he's got something above the shoulders. Hey, P4 these days, Matt. You know, that little conference out west no longer counts. Now, yeah, it's Joseph is rated. You know, I think he had was 77 or something like that on coverage for PFF, which is not the be all and end all of ratings, but it is something. And yeah, I mean, we had a little guy known as Beanie Bishop who came from, Minnesota. And between Mike Joseph and the coaches and Beanie Bishop's hard work, he he made some big changes in one off season and one season. Now, and Beanie Bishop said, "Hey, wish it could have been more than a year." Now we are getting Joseph for 2 years, assuming he doesn't transfer, and maybe this whole transfer when you want thing will be settled before next year anyway. But maybe the biggest thing is this gives us more experience. We're bringing in two really good corners. The P4 experience between them is pretty much squat. But Spells actually has the most P4 experience of any corner on the team. So this does bring in a guy who's been there, done that, which will be a big help. Of course, I don't know, nobody has talked about his leadership and that sort of thing, but I dare say the coaches, factored that in. Whether or not he's a Beanie Bishop type of leader, I don't know, but I'm sure he's going to be a good fit. It's worth noticing that, he entered the portal, West Virginia offered, and it has not been very long since that offer that he accepted. Also, on the maybe, do we make a wish kind of front, we have also offered Garnett, Hollis, I think it is. Let's see here. If I can find, you yeah, Garnett Hollis. Hollis also plays at Northwestern, or played. He is in the portal. So a teammate. Don't know how they got along, but if they got along well, this could be a twofer. And Hollis is listed at 6'2", 210, which does sound more like safety than corner, but he played corner. And Hollis is actually more highly rated as a transfer. He is rated as a 4-star. I don't know if we need to. And I'm not sure if Hollis has 1 year or 2 left. He would, possibly be entering. Well, he'd have to be entering as a grad transfer as well, given when he entered the portal, which was after Joseph. But we could have some very good things happening in the defensive backfield. That would be. Joseph and Hollis would have a chance to start. But it creates a lot of competition for starting spot and playing time. I do think the defense is going to be highly variable in the season and highly experimental during spring camp. I know they're making some changes. Didn't like some of the things that were happening. We didn't necessarily have the players we wanted. Now we have certain player types that make a different defense desirable. And these are guys who are good at both run and coverage, and heaven knows we need the coverage skills. Big question on coverage skills is still going to be the linebackers. We have to have linebackers who drop back to the right depth and get in the lane, because safeties cannot do it all by themselves, which is what they were having to do last year. David Cummings, as far as I know, they both started and played their entire career at Northwestern. I'm not quite sure if you mean Hollis and Joseph played at Penn State. I might need to be a little more specific about that. Not an idea I have encountered. Played against, okay. The other question would, of course, be how did they do? But then again, doesn't tell us everything, since Burks played against Penn State and did not have his best game. But yeah. And this, of course, this comes at a good time because it means these two will be in, I assume. Yeah. Will they be here for spring ball? I don't know if there is a time that they can enroll. That is not a question that has come up. I think there is a time they might be able to enroll for some online classes, which would qualify them to get into the spring camp. And we need them there. I mean, they're experienced guys. We need them there, not just for their sake. We need the coaches to have as many of these players around as possible for the experiments. I mean, I think the coaches are in mad scientist mode right now. They played around a lot last year, and I think they've been scheming some ideas to try in the spring. And it's going to be a matter of seeing who can do what. Drew Fabianich, of course, mentioned that Burks will be moving around more, a lot of different places. So when Burks moves, somebody else has to move. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, Thanks to Matt and David for spotting the live broadcast and jumping in. I think that is pretty much all I have to say at the moment. Just a repeat wrap. West Virginia has a commitment from Jaheem Joseph, a defensive back out of Northwestern. And, well, there is some hope of a commitment from Hollins, his teammate at Northwestern, who would also be a defensive back, which might close out the signings in the defensive backfield and could conceivably close out the signings for the transfer portal unless they have to replace somebody who leaves after spring practice. Anyway, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel, click the thumbs up button, make comments, share, and tell your friends. All of those things help. They feed the algorithm, and feeding the algorithm feeds the cats. Yeah, and Ariel needs it. Aw, what's the matter, girl? I hope it's not asthma. We've got enough asthma going around. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Goodness gracious, you need some olive leaf. I'll see you all later. I got a cat to take care of.